As promised, here is easy example. I don't know if it's easy, but it's quick. Yeah. All right. So let's start with over here. So I made myself a nice little Word document. There we go. Document one. Yeah. And in it, we've got, so I'm going to put the different families, and actually that should be Poxviridae. All right, and now let's go through some strategies that may work. So my main tool is going to be Google Scholar. Google Scholar is here. It is scholar.google.com. That's how you get there, and that's fine. So if I just look up guanylyl transferase and virus, for example, you'll get a bunch of them. And that's fine. And if that's one of the families that we're covering, that's a legit way to do it. So bamboo mosaic virus, great. If I want to know what bamboo mosaic virus is, we can get another tab. Bamboo mosaic virus. And I think that's going to be a bromovirus. Oh no, it's a Potex virus. So that is in a alpha flexiviridae. Those do not infect animals, and so that's not going to be a useful one. But it's nice. They do at least have that there, so that's fine. Now, if I want to be a little more targeted, I could say like Poxviridae guanyltransferase. And that's okay, but let's look at this. And so you'll get some things that have both those words in it, but they won't be about a guanyltransferase of Poxviridae. Subdomain processing, well, that could be. And that's a nice, this is a nice review, Nature Reviews in Micro, so that one could help us sort of point toward where some of the papers are. But let's say we're not happy with that. We could try some other words. Let's see, pox virus. And so no, African swine fever is not a pox virus, but you would probably have to check that. Yeah, it's in the Asfarviridae, African swine fever and related viruses. This one would work, looking at the poxvirus mRNA cap methyltransferase. So that's good for the methyltransferase, but it doesn't help us with the guanylyltransferase unless there's a reference inside there. But the other trick is, if you look up the most worked on viruses in the group, often you will get a separate set of hits. So, like, I happen to know that the most worked on poxvirus is going to be a thing called vaccinia virus. And if we do that, bam, mechanism for capping by the guanyltransferase, and it's right there, number one. And so if we wanted to find out, so if we had Poxviridae and virus, we might be able to look through here and we might be able to figure out from just looking at a couple of these which ones are the most studied pox viruses. And so we got lumpy skin disease virus, monkeypox virus, and I think as you start to look through these, you'll find out that it's mostly vaccinia out there, because that one was always the safer alternative to working on smallpox virus, which you're basically not allowed to work on anywhere at all at the moment, since it is functionally extinct, which is cool. All right, so going back, let's do, let's see, vaccinia virus, guanyltransferase, that's great. Mechanism, there's our Schumann and Hurwitz, yeah, and that's fine. And so you continue through and you either download the PDF or whatever. So I clicked on it, it takes you to this link where you can get the full text links. You click on that and you can get to the actual full text link here. There we go. So that is the full text, Schumann and Hurwitz. And we can scan through this and see, okay, guanyltransferase does this. It transfers a GTP to the 5' triphosphate or diphosphate. That's fantastic. That's exactly what we want. So that's this one. And so now how would we fill it out if we're using this paper? So first of all, let's scan through and see if they actually do anything. So So this is showing that the capping enzyme binds to radioactive guanine. So that's good. Means the guanine is sticking to this, so it could use it for capping, but it's not actually showing whether it does use it for capping. So here we go. It looks like we are purifying the capping enzyme. The capping enzyme was purified through this, and so that's fine. But that's not what we want. Glycerol gradient centrifugation, that's another purification step. We don't care. Isolation of the capping, again by filtration, so we're showing radioactive guanine binding, and so the thing that binds guanine is probably the capping enzyme, which is fine, just showing where it is in their little column. Now this one is actually, this one would be valid, so table 1. Doesn't have to be a figure, it can be a table. And so here we're showing that if we add the enzyme, different amounts of it incorporate proportionately higher amounts of radiolabel. And so that's good. We're binding more of this. And it's showing that if you take out the magnesium from the buffer, you basically don't bind any more radioactive label. So it says, oh, we've got an enzyme here that has magnesium-dependent binding. Now, that's not exactly demonstrating the guanylyl transfer, but I'd say it's all right if you wanted to use that one. But if we scroll down a little further, here we go. This is actual RNA capping. So we have a nucleotide, which is either G or A up here, and we're attaching a radioactive G to it via 3 phosphates, and it's the phosphates that are radioactive because there's our 32P. And so there we go. So it's GMP, nothing. G attached to an A with a radioactive G. Yes, because there's our radioactive G. And so bam, it's right up there. And so this is literally demonstrating it. So we could say figure 5. So that would be fine. So okay, so guanylyl transferase. It's figure 5. What are we looking at? So we are showing transfer of a radio-labeled, I don't remember if that has 2 L's or 1. I guess it has 1. GMP onto RNA. Yeah. And it's G or A nucleotide. Okay, and so that's our little description. And then we have to cite what this paper is. And so this paper is, that title, Mechanism of mRNA Capping, blah, blah, blah. And rather than try and copy it from there, let's just go back to where we found this thing, which was a step back right over here. So if you find anything in Google Scholar, just go down here to the little quotation mark where it says cite, click that, and bam, there is your paper. And it's in every reasonable format, and so I don't care which one, whatever, we'll pick MLA today, that's fine. And we got that, and so we have documented that it's figure 5 showing this from this paper, and I just mined out a point. It's faster than Bitcoin mining, faster than actual mining activities. That takes forever. Yeah. And yeah, so whenever you got time, just see if you can plug in a couple of these. Pick a family, and once you get into a family, you may find a reference that just details which ones you're going to pull out. And then it's just a matter of getting those papers, opening them up, and seeing what you can find inside. Finding a figure that demonstrates it, or a bit of bioinformatics that demonstrates it, and there you go. You are set. You've got it. So that's the challenge. It's kind of big, kind of open-ended, and for this one, we could still find the terminal phosphatase, and we could still find the rest. So the only thing that's not open is the Poxviridae guanylyl transferase, because that's the one that I'm doing right here. You can still get the other 3 points for Poxviridae, and you can get any number of points for all the other virus families that are out there that infect people in some way or another. So there you go. That's the challenge. That's the example. Hope that helps. Thanks very much.